constantly indulged in this world and seeking more and more pleasure, you call that person a fool. And whom you consider as wise? Who is in the Himalayas, in the foothills of the Himalayas, searching for the truth, enlightenment. But Charvak says, fool and wise, when both die, both are reduced to ashes. Khatami. And if there is provision to meet after death, and if they both meet after death, the so-called fool would be saying to wise, when they find that there is no heaven, there is no Siddhachanda, there is no other world, then this so-called fool would be saying to wise, me too full enjoyed. Who forbade, I enjoyed as much as I can. And you had left the pleasures of that world in the hope of the pleasure of this world, which is not there. And the best part is, you can't go back. Charvak, while trying to prove his point, he gives one more example. He says, suppose there is one person is going, and on the road, one conch shell is lying. In ancient times, conch shells, sepia, were used as a common currency known as podium. Right? A conch shell is lying on the road. He is just about to pick up, but at distance he finds a gold coin is lying. He leaves this. While I'll pick up this conch shell, I'll go there and I'll pick up gold coin. But once he goes there, he picks up the so-called gold coin, and he finds that this is nothing but a yellow stone. Sun is falling in such a way that it was shining. Hence Charvak says, a sure shot conch shell was much better than a doubtful gold coin. And this world is sure shot. There is no dilemma, there is no doubt. This is real. Hence we should focus on this world and pleasures of this world. People are unnecessarily wasting their time, energy, resources in the hope of that which is itself in doubt. Getting my point? He is the one, I consider him the most courageous philosopher. The most courageous. Why? Because in that time, the whole brigade of philosophers were aspiring for moksha. All philosophers were running for the moksha. It was the Charvak whom we consider as the most courageous person, because he had the guts, he had the power, he had the courage to raise the symbol to them. The whole brigade of philosophers were running. Charvak went and stopped. Ruk, kahan? Mujhe kaha, moksha. Charvak said, "Bhai, confirm to hai." And these people say, "Such a stupid person, confirm to hai. Get out, get lost, let me run." But Charvak started thinking, "Here, I asked very simple question. Is it confirmed? Then what I will be doing here? I will also run with you." But they got agitated, they got irritated, and they just, thrown me out. But I asked simple question, is it confirmed? It means they are not sure, they are not confirmed. It means they are running for a doubtful gold coin, leaving this sure short conch shell. And it is where Charvak comes and says, focus on this world. Forget about other worldliness. And once you focus on this world, then you find who lives in this world? Man, human being. Right? And now once he talks of the pleasure, for whose pleasure is talking? Human being. And if human being is the reality, he says that, look, human being is the reality. If human being is the reality, then let us throw all our energy, money, resources in the all-rounded development of this creature known as human being. Yeah, isko dona pleasure. And hence he says, look, pleasure is the only objective of our life. Ultimate aim of our human life is the pleasure, and seek pleasure as much as you can. And this is where he says his famous slogan, eat, drink, and marry. M-E, not A. Because that will be contradiction, no? Eat, drink, and M-A-R-R-Y. It just can't be. So he says, eat, drink, and marry. How pure mauj karo. Drink means? Drink, in that time there is a famous sloka, and he talks about the ghee. Drink as much ghee as you can. Means seek pleasure as much as you can. Jisme sabse zyada anand aata ho. Do that. Right? And when we said to Charvak, what Charvak, we enjoyed and money is exhausted. He says, no problem. When you get money, you get finished off your money, shirt but nikale baal wal bigher ke apne friend ke paas, you just run and say, I need 200 rupees very urgent. By seeing your condition, he will give you, take 500 rupees, okay, give me after 2 months, no problem. Take 500, catch nearest metro, go to nearest multiplex, buy popcorn and coke and see movie. But don't stop enjoying, because this life is once in lifetime opportunity. Next time you never know. Getting my point? Then another friend will give. Definitely. Isn't it? And this is what he has laid down, a system of hedonism. Time is over, but I don't want to break the continuity. Isn't it? Or a few minutes more. So this is what he has laid down, the parameters of ethics. Hedonism, pleasure is the highest standard. Seek pleasure as much as you can. But once he talks of pleasure, then people started condemning him. People started criticizing him. And people started saying him immoral. Arey, this Charvak here, don't talk to this Charvak. He seeks only pleasure. It's only of that kind of pleasure. Isn't it? Means he was like outcast. is immoral, is unethical. Means pleasure was equated only with the physical pleasure, sensuous pleasure. Hence he was casted as unethical, immoral. Isn't it? So, such philosophy could not grow, could not prosper. Materialist philosophy, hedonist philosophy could not grow in Indian system because the whole brigade of philosophers were deadly against him and he was condemned as, unethical, immoral. But now you tell me, is pleasure only physical pleasure? No. Pleasure is very wide dimension. You can have intellectual pleasure, you can have traveling pleasure, you can have debating pleasure, you have reading pleasure. Yeah, of course. Initial Charvak must have talked pleasure as only the physical pleasure, no doubt about it. Because this is the only first thing which we get. Because what immediately gives happiness and pleasure, that is only through bodily sensuous pleasure. There is no doubt about it. But as we grow, as this grows, we come to know that sensuous pleasure is okay, fine. But there are some more higher form of pleasure. Getting my point? And this is where such philosophy could not prosper. Perfect. Now, what is the significance of Charvak? And Charvak has the great significance. One thing, that it is he who can afford to raise that question, because the whole brigade is seeking for moksha. Other dimension of reality, nobody is taking, pain to see. Ye dusre chor pe kya hai? If nobody have raised a question, then don't you think Indian philosophy would have become dogmatic? It would have been labeled as dogmatism, because you talk only of one thing, that is of moksha. It is a Charvak who saved this Indian philosophy from the dogmatism. Right? Okay. This is one line of thought. Another line of thought is, have you heard of European Renaissance? Yes. In around 13th, 14th century AD? Okay. In Europe. Fine. Can you give me the twin pillars of the European Renaissance? One is rationalism. One is rationalism. Another is, somebody had said, humanism. That is human-centric. Isn't it? These are the twin pillars, reason and human-centric philosophy. Twin pillars of European Renaissance. And once it had happened in Europe, Europe never looked back till date. Unidirectional progress, development and growth in all the fields. Isn't it? Since long back it has come from medievalism to the modern. And till date it has never looked back. Now don't you think, in Charvak philosophy, both are present? Isn't it? Reason is present. Because he is able to question the established norms. And once he talks of pleasure, then whose pleasure is talking? Human being, isn't it? So his philosophy is human-centric. So these twin pillars were present even in the Charvak philosophy. Now look, if Charvak philosophy would have grown, India would have witnessed the Renaissance way back in 6th century BC, which Europe will be seeing in 13th, 14th century AD. There's almost a gap of 2000 years. And it is only this 2000 years, don't you think, that we are trying to make up. And it is only because of this they are developed and we are developing. 2000 years is a huge gap. Materialism has its own significance. Isn't it? Until unless you focus on this world, who will take care of this world? Aapko sabko pata, you only have said number of times that Western philosophy is materialism. And Indian philosophy is spiritualism. Dekh rahe na abhi tak? Everybody is spiritual, everybody is running for the moksha. Who will take care of this world? Don't you think a philosophy like this will be able to take care? This is what happened in Europe. And this is where we see Europe there and we are here. So look, India would have witnessed the Renaissance way back in that era, with almost 2000 years back. But this is unfortunate that such a wonderful philosophy could not prosper, could not grow, and it was condemned, it was chalked up, and its real significance could not be analyzed. It is only these 2000 years we are trying to make up, and it is just impossible to make up. Because after 2000 years, where they will be, we cannot even imagine. Thanks to globalization, I tell you, that this gap is fast reducing, thanks to globalization. Imagine if there would have been no globalization, then what would have happened? After 30-40 years, we would be talking to them, hey, are you on WhatsApp? And they would be laughing. From where does this primitive person have come? Means after 30-40 years, we will be talking of WhatsApp. Getting my point? Internet, when we started using? Okay, if you don't understand that way, you understand in this way. When did you hear for the first time? When India heard for the first time computers? 1985 when Rajiv Gandhi had come. Isn't it? And when I remember when Rajiv Gandhi had come and he used to talk of technology and computers, then the whole lot used to laugh. Arey yaar, kaun retired aadmi hai? He is not aware of the ground realities and this and that. People here are hungry. People are dying of hunger and starvation, and he's talking of computers. And computers had become reality only in, I think, last 8 years, 10 years, last decade only. And now this has become part and parcel of our life. Without it, we can't survive. What Western world were used to in 1980s, they was very much used to computers. They were using even internet, isn't it? I remember one Hindi movie, 1970s, with the one Hindi movie had come. Right? And in that one character had come from, higher studies from US. And he comes to his father's office. As he entered into his office, he sees office and he says, "Kya dad, यहाँ पर अभी भी इंसान ही काम करते हैं." Look dad, in America, there is one machine which does everything. And you know that machine is known as computer. I'm talking of 1970s in the movie. Yeah. That is Trishul. Don't ask. You people are forgetting and you are not aware of those old movies, isn't it? So, this is how we see the significance of Charvak. Rationalist, raising questions and trying to see the other dimension of reality.